the best way to have an incident response team is to do this and this and that, because he has already this accumulated experience. Okay, so we have to keep this in our mind and don't really give up on cybersecurity really early, because we are just in the beginning phases. You can learn anything, it's not hard. Alhamdulillah, we are not again creating new rockets. We are learning something well established, and there is so many resources for it. So it's easy, inshallah. Okay, great. So this is just an introduction for the day. I just wanted to share it with you. Okay, and then let's just go ahead and talk about the concepts that we wanted to really look at. I will try to add some extra, points that we have covered about the incident response. So I wanted to start because it's Sunday today. Sorry, Saturday. Sorry, Sunday. My mind is like not in the right. I will start my day today with a joke about cybersecurity. I would give you guys to read the joke. Okay, so the joke about when you tell someone about you are working in a cybersecurity, what is their perception about you? So the first one picture over here is your parents. Okay, and if you don't know this guy is here, do you guys recognize this guy first of all? Hello? Do you know who is this in the version? No,
Yes.
no way.
Yes.
Who is this?
Steve? Is this Jobs? Steve
Yeah,
Jobs?
Steve Jobs. Yes,
Yeah.
Steve Jobs when he was young. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like he looking completely different. May Allah bless him. Okay, so he looks completely different, and this guy specifically. If you look, him and this guys, Steve Jobs basically is the brain, and this guy who is implemented the first computer, and this guy's made billions of dollars out of Bitcoin coins. If you Google him, is now in the head of engineering of Apple's. So he's like really taking care of all the new project in Apple's. So this is the first picture. So this is what my parents think I will do at work. Okay, and this is where your friends think what you do when you say cybersecurity. They think you are the geek sitting in a computer. What my boss think I do. So this is like you are living in the motherboard or something like that. Okay, and this is what my wife think about what I do. Sometimes I ask my wife, "You have a clue what I'm doing at work?" She said, "Like, yes, you do something with security." So I said, "Yes, exactly." So this is like looks like a forensics team. I don't blame her. So really, don't blame anyone who doesn't understand cybersecurity, because the cybersecurity as a science. Okay, I'm telling you, in the whole world started maybe 20 years ago when the internet started to be public. So 20, maybe 22 years ago when they started to open Amazon.com and Yahoo.com and this is where the worms and early stages of viruses and malwares started to really emerge. Okay, and Maktub, exactly, a knife. Yeah, a knife is mashallah is a mashallah is like this is a really old email and website that we used to do. Also, it's part of MSN now. So yes, I agree. So this was really long time ago. This is where the early stages of cybersecurity. Okay, and then later on, maybe especially in the Middle East, I would say in 2008, 2009, and with Stuxnet attack started to emerge. This is where the people here in the Middle East started to really recognize that really there is a new threats are coming, which is basically we're relying on these technologies, but this technology can really be devastating. That's why I recommended you guys to read about Stuxnet yesterday. And I'm pretty sure that we can do a whole 2 hours of discussion about how Stuxnet infected the machine and what he did exactly, and what is the main purpose of this specific malware. So this is what does my wife think I do, and this is what is the media think I do. So basically the Matrix. I don't know if you guys have seen the Matrix, but again, you are the guy who was in the Matrix. I don't know what is his name, showed something. Okay. And finally, what I actually do, this is what we are really looking at computer all the day, trying to review logs. exactly. Last picture is so accurate. Okay. Yeah, so exactly. So you're looking at the computer, you're trying to understand how the malware infected the computers, trying to see some logs, trying to make your own analysis. So it really takes a lot of time to do work. You really need to look at things first before you start to do. Okay, so again, guys, this is just to change your mood a little bit. And I promise there is one more joke coming, so be tuned. Okay, so do you guys finish the attendance? Are we all good now? Everyone raised his hands today. Okay, let me have a look quickly. Okay, Ragad, can you raise your hand? Is Ragad is here? Okay, guys. So then we start our day with like a really quick introduction about what is the cybersecurity framework again. We'll talk about the framework because the framework, why I keep talking about it every day, because it links the big picture about cybersecurity, okay? So it linked to you what is the identification phase and how identification phase will drive the protection phase and how the protection phase will drive the detection phase and how the detection phase will drive responding and recovery phases. So all of them are phases which is basically are going through like a chain, and all of them are connected. But the whole idea that I explained to you guys before, and I keep telling you, the main point for hiring a cybersecurity engineer is to reduce the risk of cybersecurity attacks. So we are really open the door for internet, and we open the door for networks, and we are all connected. Right now, there's so many technologies that allow us to do our job in a more efficient way. There's so many opportunities right now to manage your money remotely from home, or even to access your bank account and do all your transactions. So many facilities right now, which is very important facility that runs with computers. And when they hire you, we wanted one thing, which is basically is to reduce the risk to the acceptable level to your organization. And that's why it's collection of activity. So since this is a nice definition, it's a collection of activity to address the risk or to reduce the risk or to mitigate the risk. Which risk we are talking about? The risk of cybersecurity. Because again, if you start to work in a company, the risk of cybersecurity is one of the highest, topest risk. This is not what I'm saying. I just put you guys a small diagram from the World Economic Forums, which is taking place every year. And in this World Economic Forum, they get people from all different countries in the world, and they will talk about economy, and they will talk about the forecast for the economy, and they were talking also about the risk that exists right now in the market that can really impact the economy. And if you can see here, the World Economic Forum Global Risk Perspective Survey, they have done a survey for 2016. طبعا you can still look at the surveys in 2022. Okay, cyber attacks were listed in top 5 risk in 27 world economies. Okay, so top 5 risks. So we have maybe the uncertainty risk, maybe the supply chain risk. There's so many risks. Okay, but one of the top 5 is cybersecurity. Okay, that's why there is a booming in the career of cybersecurity. There is all the companies are relying in technology. They're relying in computers. They're relying in email address to communicate. They're relying on application to really do their jobs, like a databases or website and stuff. So they're relying on this technology, but in the same time, these technology, when we developed long time ago, especially the protocols and networks and the stuff, was really not meant to be secure. Okay. Exactly, I agree with Naif. That's why, wallahi, I was thinking about this today to give you a couple of lectures about cloud, because cloud now is the thing of cybersecurity. Why? A lot of companies right now are moving to the cloud, or they started their business based on the cloud. So I cannot tell you how many jobs right now, guys, for cloud security are being there. So I'm telling you, I just wanted to maybe 1 day or 2 days, we'll just the cloud and cloud security. And the good about cloud security, you can start cloud infrastructure. Okay, you can start just a subscription, and maybe you can put an your credit card with no charge. We can use just, you know, the free tier instance, the free tier situation to show you guys how to implement groups in the cloud, how can you implement identity and access management, how you can implement multi-factor authentication in the cloud. So this is all stuff is really important. And why I'm saying it's important, guys, because this is the trend. The trend are people are moving to the cloud. So in order to really protect your organization from the cloud threats, you really need to start to implement protection techniques, and also okay, like the Google Labs, create instance monitoring, networking, building accounts, and IAM. Yes, I agree with Naif 100%. Okay, so exactly. So that's why, inshallah, maybe next week, inshallah, if we have time, if I found the topic of risk management, which is we covered before, is the same topic, maybe we can spend some time to look at the cloud and how to secure the cloud, inshallah, in a long session, inshallah. Okay, so back to our really what we're talking about here, guys, is over here. Also, we mentioned that, you know, people, process, technology. This is what you really need to protect in order to implement cybersecurity. So don't look only on technological aspect. Okay. So this takes us to the, you know, the assurance cube that we covered maybe a long time ago, that you really need to have a managerial countermeasures and physical countermeasure and technology countermeasures. So you really need to understand your data, where is your data is, and implement managerials, which is basically policies and procedures. You really need to have a solid policies and procedures. And I know that Abir already covered this topic with you guys yesterday. You need also to implement physical security. Okay, this is not 100% also valid for cloud, but I will tell you how to implement physical security also in the cloud. We will talk about it. And then, because, you know, when you in the cloud, this is just because we talked about the cloud last 5 minutes. So when you are in the cloud, okay, you are sharing the same hardware. Okay, sharing the hardware means what? Means you basically sharing the hardware instance with someone else. Do you know this someone else? No. Okay, can I guarantee that he will not attack me one day because we're sharing the same CPU? Okay, can I guarantee there is no vulnerability will happen that will allow him to do something like VM escaping? No. So you can have an option from the cloud that you have your own hardware. It will cost you more, okay, but if you are really protecting high sensitive information, you don't want even to share your hardware as a physical hardware with someone else, because later on they can just, you know, do VMware escaping or something like that. So so we'll talk about option, and we'll talk about how you pay extra money to have your own hardware, and how you really request this from your service provider. And also we mentioned that in order also to really secure a system, you need to implement security in the technological level. And the technological level, you need to implement preventive control and detection controls and corrective controls. We talked for entire months about protective controls. What kind of protective controls we need to implement? What we mean by access controls? What we mean by identity and access management? And what we mean by encryption and PKI and all this stuff. So this is very important. And the whole essence about this stuff is basically to protect the data in all the states, whether the data at rest, or whether a data at transit, or whether a data when it's processed in your computer. Okay, guys. Again, cybersecurity, as it mentioned here, guys, is dynamic and continuous approach. What we mean by this, we're not gonna address the risk today and then sit back and, you know, relax. No, there is a new risk every day. There is a new challenges every day. Your company are investing in technology. They wanted to use new technology. They wanted to maybe adapt, bring your own device policy. They wanted maybe to allow people to work from home. So you will be always assessing the risk. You'll be always implementing controls in order really to reduce the risk. So don't have this false sense of securing after you do a big project, because this is just a part of like a continuous process. So again, we mentioned that the process means steps that you do. So identity access, the topic for today, incident response is a process. And the process, you're not gonna do it one time. You will not find out one incident and then relax for the entire day. Sometimes in a big environment, guys, you will have up to 5 incidents a day, okay? Maybe in some bigger environment, we'll look at 10 or 15 incidents a day. And you have to continue doing what you have done in the first exact incident, okay? This is also including learning from incidents. So you also need to learn, okay, and try to implement better security the next time. Why? Because the whole idea